Hi everyone! So I am back with another video, and today's video is going to be on 10 things that you can do starting now to be able to help shift into a new self-identity. So before we start, I want to mention my cute little new microphone that I have. I love her. The videos I have actually on my page is going more into what self-identity is. So pretty much just a short-term thing. If you want more information on what stepping into a new self-identity is, please check out my first video. But as summary, stepping into a new self-identity is pretty much saying that what you believe, how you view yourself, and how you're perceived in the world. For example, you might think, oh, I'm like a type B person and, I run late, rah, rah, rah. I'm not the most self-confident. That is your current self-identity. And pretty much you can shift into a new self identity like that. You can instantly change your thinking, being like, oh, I'm not a type B person anymore. I'm now type A. And then your actions will follow because now you will believe it. So, pretty much, short term thing, new self identity is a new you. I've got 10 steps here that will help you along in your new self identity process and journey. So, the first one is learn about money and finance. So, I am still doing this currently. I think it's a long thing that, especially if you come from a lower economic background, a lot of the time in the family, you are just meeting bills week by week. You're not worrying about long term finance or ETFs or stocks or real estate or where to invest your money or savings, all that. Like, you don't care. You're just trying to pay week to week. You're not worrying about any of that, or you don't even have the time to be able to do that, or you haven't had generations of people telling you that from when you're young. So you need to do that yourself. So I really recommend watching any videos on YouTube, getting any books, um, programs, online websites, anything really. I think there's even like free courses. I personally haven't checked those out, but I really rely on YouTube is great. And also any books really. So you want anything that's actually from like 2025 to 2026 up, because the economic and financial and money situation of the world is very different to what it was even 5 years ago. So anything that's up to date and anything that doesn't have like an opinion based, because a lot of it is people put their opinions and their beliefs, where I think it's better if you can just get a cold hard fact. This is what this is what that is, this is what the statistics show, and it doesn't have any fluctuating beliefs, because I feel like sometimes people can try and push you into certain areas because they're trying to promote stuff, or they've got a business, or they just had a one hit wonder with this thing, but in reality it's not typically something that actually pays out a lot. So yeah, big thing. So learn about money and finance through YouTube or books, and try and make sure it's up by like at least 2025 up, because again, we have AI, we've got all this new stuff, and also make sure that you are doing it where it's not really opinion based information, it's just facts. Of course, like after you start learning about money and finance and you know the basics, then you can start going into opinion based more stuff. But as you're beginning, I would recommend just learning stuff that has no opinions. It's just statistics and what giving you what each thing is, pretty much. So, number two is I want you to think bigger. So, when I say think bigger, it's very hard for someone to imagine a life that they've never really seen in person, especially if the people around them have never had it happen. They haven't had it happen, any of this. So, for example, I saw this guy talking about, I can't remember who it was or where it was, but he didn't know people just had private jets. So when he heard about a first person having a private jet, he's like, "Oh yeah, like is that for a business or something?" And he's like, "No, it's for me to be able to like fly around." And this man like completely was shocked. He didn't even know that was an option, that people could have their own jet to just travel in. So being an example of that, sometimes what you don't know, you can't have, because you can't manifest it. You can't work towards it because you don't even know it's an option. You need to actually open your circle to allow yourself to find out about these things and to be able to see, oh, this can happen. This isn't like some dream reality thing on a movie. So surround yourself by people who have had the goals that you're aligning with happen. Like, let's say you want to, I don't know, have a lot of money. Surround yourself with wealthy people, and you'll be able to see how they act, what their habits are, what they've done to get there, what their mindsets are, what their beliefs are, and you can start to actually implement that. And since you're seeing it, it's a lot easier to like add to yourself, because if you've never experienced it or you didn't know it's possible, you cannot create a reality where dream big, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You dream big, you reach for up here, right? And you go here. Okay. Or you dream just down here. Okay. And you reach that. Would have you rather reach here because that was like, oh, you're like, I can't get up there? Or you didn't reach the full potential, but you got pretty close and you were still higher than what you would have been? What's the worst that happens? Because if you don't reach your goals, you can say, I gave it a shot, I got to the highest point that I could. Where if you've reached down for below, that's kind of sad because it's like, oh, you did the bare minimum. You could have gotten so much more if you just had believed and given yourself the skills to be able to. So, yeah, number 2, think bigger. And I think, it's easier said than done by thinking bigger, but you need to be able to put yourself around people who have those things, and which can be really very difficult. For example, the thing being money. If you don't like live in a neighborhood that like is very high economic value, like how am I going to meet people who have money? And we have online now. We can go through YouTube. We can go read book bibliographies about their life. Like there is other options. And again, there's a lot of information out there on how to be able to find that community. Or let's say that you're trying to become an athlete, for example, then you're going to want to surround yourself with people who are successful athletes or read bibliographies about people who are successful athletes. So then you can see that's there and then you can think bigger and then that can happen for you. You don't even know it exists, it can't exist for you. Number 3 is to change your appearance. So this is something I'm still definitely working on. I've always been quite a tomboy, not anymore. In my new identity, I want to consider myself quite girly. But yeah, it's been a struggle. I've always had like quite sensory issues. I've never liked wearing anything fitted, or it just takes so much time. And I used to have the mindset being like, why would I waste so much time on my appearance? It doesn't even matter. I'm not getting anything from it, which is so false. Everything is based on appearance. Pretty privilege is a thing, even for men, and you'll be taken more serious. And I want to just say, I don't know if anyone here has kids, but if you have a child, if there was 2 people here and you had to run off and leave your child with one of the people, one of them looks completely a mess, looks like she's just come out of the dumpster, okay? You might be a bit skeptical, where if there was like a lady and she looked quite put together and she looked straight 180, you would give your child to the one who looks presentable. And same with anything in life. People like you won't have as many opportunities because people won't want to approach you because you don't even look like you take care of yourself. So why would they? If you can't take care of yourself, they're not going to trust you to be taking care of any of their things. Same with jobs. If someone is wanting to, I don't know, they're looking for an employee to go to a meeting for them, they're going to choose someone who's always well presented because they want to have their company look like a good company, and they want someone, the face of it, to look well presented because that will reflect their company, not someone who looks completely trashed. So there is many ways to be able to do this. You don't have to fit one look, but I think it's important that your hair's done, you have clean clothes, and you find a certain style. I always go by capsule wardrobes or just simple things. Before, I used to try and have all these different styles that I love. Like I love coquette, I love alternative clothing, but to be honest, it didn't suit me, for one. And two, it just took too much time out of my day and too much decision fatigue. And I found it easier to just have the basics. And I felt like I also liked the look of that. I liked the look of being in a white jean with a nice sweater. It looks clean, it looks put together, and it looks like you got together. So, definitely your appearance is very important and sometimes it sucks. And I'm not talking about like, you know, anything that you might feel insecure about. I'm just talking about like, have your hair put together, maybe even a touch of makeup if you want to, or if you're a man, have yourself groomed, um, wearing nice clean clothes that's ironed, that doesn't have lint on them, etc., etc. And you can do this for cheap. You don't need a lot of money. There is secondhand clothes, there's Facebook Marketplace, there's stuff to be able to teach you about your hair online, etc. Like, I think appearance is a very big thing, and I will be doing more videos on that. But again, it's something I'm still getting better at. So I completely understand because it definitely can be rough, especially when, you've never really been like that. So, number 4 is to reflect on everything. So this is massive. And I think this is a thing that I didn't do. I would start a lot of stuff, but I never reflected. So how can you improve on something you didn't reflect? So an example of this being is on my YouTube channel. I've actually got this lovely follower, and he likes and comments on a lot of my videos, and it is so appreciated. And he actually recommended that I get a mic, and it was in a really good, constructive way, which I really appreciated. And so, what did I do? I went and got a mic because I'm going to take that feedback on from other people who are watching my content. Because one, I want to be able to give good content to you guys, and two, you need to grow. I need to improve. I'm not at the most best that I can be, but I will be at my best because I will take on feedback and I will also self reflect and see how I can improve. So, yeah, just an example being I've taken feedback from I need a mic and subtitles, which I'm going to start incorporating into my videos. And that can be anything in your life, and you've got to reflect on yourself as well. Like, you can have external feedback, which you can ask people about, and you can also have internal feedback. So, for example, I'm in the middle of trying to start a business. And through this, I can actually reflect on it, like maybe weekly, daily, monthly, whenever you got the time or whenever you feel it's appropriate. And you can reflect on it and see, okay, what's going good, what's going bad. It's simple as that. And then that way you know how to improve. Because if you do not acknowledge that you have flaws, you can't improve because you think, oh, well, I'm great. And then it's never going to get better. And I'm telling you, it can always get better. So, yeah, number 4, big thing, reflect on everything. Number 5 is to learn about businesses. So, um, I've got a few things going on for me right now, and like I'm actually starting to currently be a high school teacher, and that's something I really want to do. I think I'll really enjoy the career pathway that'll lead me to. I am going to be a principal one day. I am certain of that. Learning about business is really good because even though I'm going to be a teacher, I also still want to be able to have as much income, of course, I can to live a comfortable, happy life and to be able to build generational wealth for my daughter. So I think learning about business again through YouTube, books, it is so handy because any business. My personal opinion, what I think is really going good right now is services. And if you can offer a service, especially anything that is basics, that's in. A lot of people don't have money right now to spend on cute little gadgets or unnecessary accessories, or if they do, they're going to go typically get it cheaper or go for a high expensive brand, which they've already established over many years if they're an established brand, or from Temu. And typically, as a small business, you can't make it that cheap and you can't compete. So I think, again, if you're really passionate about a product that you want to sell in a business, I think that can be great. But I think also really right now services are need, and you don't even have to be the one to offer a service. You can create a company and then you can hire people on, and you might be only making a small margin, but you're not doing anything. It's nearly passive income. Yeah, you'll still have to do stuff here and there, but as it grows, you will be having more passive income coming through. So yeah, I think learn about business, because even if you're planning on doing social media or anything like that, that is still a business pretty much. You need to treat it as such because, you've got to take on brand deals or you're going to have to get monetized. You'll be running different social media accounts. It's a lot. So yeah, definitely start learning about business. And I really recommend again through like anything of books, YouTube, websites. There's so much information out there. Yeah. Number 7 is have your environment reflect your new identity. Now, this is a big one. So, I think if you are living in a state of chaos, your house is trashed, your car is trashed, your work like desk is trashed, or whatever it is, you are not going to be able to be in your new identity because one, you're not going to be able to be organized because your stuff is everywhere. Two, it's not going to make you feel very put together because you're not. And three, it's just also when people come into your space, like for example, if someone walks through to your car or they come over to your home or they come into the office and they see your place is absolutely trashed, they're going to have a lower respect because they see that you can't take care of yourself or your environment and they're not going to trust you to be able to do anything of that sort, if that makes any sense. So I won't go too much into this because I feel like it's pretty self explanatory. But again, one thing I did was I got rid of my old car because it was not fitting my new self identity and I bought another car. Is it some fancy smancy thing? No, I only paid like a few $1,000s for my new car, but I've taken care of it. I've decorated it, I clean it regularly. It doesn't have to be this big, expensive thing. It's just about taking care of it, being clean, and if you can decorate it to fit, whatever your visual appeal is, then that's awesome too. But the main thing is keeping it clean and organized. So, yes. Sorry, I don't know if I said 6 or 7 that was, because I've just missed one. Anyway, the next one, I think this is either 6 or 7, is to have a full basket. So when I say to have a full basket, I think I'm talking in terms of career. So I think the more pathways that you can build, the better. So obviously you don't want to do all of them at once. You will burn yourself out and you can't give your all to each thing. But for example, what I'm doing currently is I'm doing social media content. I am also in uni to become a teacher. I am also hoping to start up, not hoping, I will be starting up a business of some sort. So I'm still kind of working on it. Like I've got an idea I'm pretty set on, but I'm just making sure this is a business for me. And then hopefully I want to be able to give out a book of some form. Again, I haven't really planned too much about that, but I know in the next year or two that will be on the books. I will be publishing some form of a book. So I think, having a full basket, you have a lot more things to rely on. So if one sinks, you've got 3 other things, and also you've got more income coming in. And I think that's another big thing of people who are quite wealthy is that they tend to have a lot. They don't just have like one business. They typically have multiple, whether it be through real estate, selling a product, selling a service, etc. And this is something you're going to build up over time. But I think, definitely have that in mind. It's not something you have to do typically today, but keep in mind what can you have in your basket to be able to have different revenues of income coming in. Or if one, doesn't go as planned, then you've got something else to rely on for a little bit. So, number 8, the big thing is awareness, acceptance, and action. So, this kind of goes into reflection, but I think a lot of things that a lot of people are afraid to do is actually to reflect upon themselves and have awareness of it. Sometimes it can be really hard to look at yourself and think, like, I don't know, let's say a trait, for example, I've been having lately. I notice that I'm actually quite, um, understanding and empathetic towards strangers, but when it comes to people close to me, I typically can lack some empathy. So it's something I reflected upon when I was in the shower randomly. I was like, do you know what? I'm really empathetic towards strangers, like really, really understanding and empathetic. But when it comes to people closer to me, hold a lot more standards and I can lack that empathy. And I don't know where it came from me from, but at first, it was a bit of friction there because I was like, wait, I don't want to admit that I can be unempathetic at times. But do you know what? I accepted it. I was like, but it's true. My actions and my things have shown that I can be unempathetic sometimes towards people close to me. So by doing that, I'm now trying to work on having more empathy through people. And of course, this is not going to come natural, but you can try and ask people and be like, hey, I'm trying to work on this. Can you pull me up on anything or let me know if I'm doing something that comes across as unempathetic? You can look at, again, books, YouTube, any of that stuff to learn on tips on having to do this. And you don't have to, like, fully get all these different traits and work them all at once, but it can be just slowly. Like, you might pick at yourself and be like, oh, I'm a little bit selfish. And how can I improve on that? Or, I'm a bit of a pushover. How can I improve on that? But it has to be also negative because no one is perfect. You cannot be perfect. You have to have something that you do, or something you can improve on. So, having awareness and then accepting it. Don't be hard on yourself. You just have to be aware. For example, with my empathy, I realized, I can be quite unempathetic towards people around me. Having awareness, accepting it, just being like, okay, that's just how I am, and then change. You need to then follow it up with change. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just an unempathetic person. That's just how I am. No, like, you're going to want to change, and how you're going to change them things is again by maybe asking people around you to kind of like pull you up on it. Um, or again, learning through books, videos, any of that sort of stuff. So again, I can go a lot more into that in a video, but quickly to say, remember awareness, acceptance, and action. So, number 9 is to improve your language and conversational skills. I think when you're stepping in a new identity, I don't think it can hurt at all to always improve your language and your vocabulary and how you speak, using less filler words, a better vocabulary, all that stuff. And again, this is something I'm still working on. I'm trying to make sure I don't swear as much. I'm trying to include less filler words, all that sort of stuff, and also just come across as more classy when I speak. So again, I'm also still trying to learn on this. I don't have that much to really give tips on, but there's a lot of information out there on it. But just try and pull yourself up. I would start with the swearing. If you happen to like swear a lot, try and cut that back. Start trying to use less filler words, and then also try and improve your vocabulary. You can do that through reading or even just watching different media than you typically would. And once you start surrounding yourself a lot more with it, then you'll get used to different words in your vocabulary and you'll start picking it up yourself. So, even like writing essays or writing in your journal, so many different things I feel like can build your vocabulary and make you speak differently. And how you speak is massive. It's pretty much, for example, why some people can do a TED talk and some can't. Like our speech and how we present ourselves through speech is massive, and I think it's definitely a big thing a lot of people struggle with, and it takes a long time to work on. So even for me, I'm still working on that myself, but I think it's really important and can change how people will perceive you and will be handy really for any aspect of your life, whether it be your career, your family, any of it really. So lucky number 10 is learn from those who are successful. So, as mentioned above, pretty much in all these tips is learning from those who are doing those things. So, again, if you want to be a billionaire, learn from billionaires. Try and surround yourself with people who are from money or have money or are even trying to build money, or read bibliographies of people who have money. For example, when I mentioned being an athlete, going out and surrounding yourself with a lot more people who are athletic in sports and aiming to do that as a career, or watching stuff online or any of this sort of stuff. Or, for example, if you're trying to be a very good stay at home mom who are teaching their kids and homeschool them, again, try and surround yourself with like minded people who are also homeschooling mothers and look at content online, get resources. There's so much stuff. So, learn from those who are already successful and try and incorporate yourself with like minded people because, yeah, it's pretty much who you hang around is going to be who you become. And what media you take in is going to start warping you as a person. So, they're just my top 10 tips. And I appreciate if you have stuck around. And yeah, I hope you've taken anything from this. And if you want to see anything more on self identity, self care, self improvement, even some more spiritual stuff, please check out my page. Even some mum content, because I also do have a nearly 2-year old, or teaching so much different stuff, then that will be on my page. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.